All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the sincere apostles and elders over Great Millstone, who are my teachers, and peace and salutations to you brothers out there preaching His word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Yahweh with another lesson. All right, and pretty much I just wanted to get into this article, get into some news and some prophecy. All right, and this has been prophesied since the beginning. These are things that are going to come to pass and that are going to happen because the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God, whose true name is Yahweh in the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, already hath ordained this to be. All right, and if you don't believe on Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Yahushai being the true name of the one who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right, which in the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew would be Yahushai. All right. If you don't believe on him, if you don't have faith, and you're not showing forth your faith through your works, hey, well then the Heavenly Father is he's going to judge you according to your way. And if you're outside of the bounds of this ministry, hey, well then you're more than likely your judgment is going to be death. All right. And so that's what his prophets have been sent out here to warn our people of. All right. And so without further ado, I wanted to get into this article, and as you can see from the title, it says, "No chance of survival. Putin warns West of nuclear destruction, threatens use of Russia's most powerful missiles in retaliation." And so it reads, "In an alarming and ominous doomsday warning, Russian President Vladimir Putin has threatened the West with total nuclear destruction if they were to strike Russia," RadarOnline.com has learned. It says, in a recent anti-U.S. speech, Putin boasted about his country's powerful missiles, namely the Satan II and Flying Chernobyl, which he claimed are ready for deployment. These statements come amid growing tension between Russia and the West, particularly in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. And that's right. And you have all these people saying that we're already in World War III. All right. And once again, this was prophesied. So this is going to be the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 14. And it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly," which the woe being war, the World War. All right. We had the First World War, all right, which was the first woe. And then we had the second woe, which is the Second World War. And now we're in the beginning of the third woe. All right. The being the World War III. All right. And everybody knows that we are already here. Okay, and if you're not paying attention, and you get caught off guard, well then know that your judgment more than likely once again is death. And so from here, I wanted to jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. And because we understand that Russia, all right, is prophesied to completely and utterly annihilate America, all right, which Russia in the scriptures is known as Gog and Magog. All right, so before I get to verse 7, this is going to be the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 2. And it reads, "Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." That's right, because ultimately, even though the Heavenly Father is going to use this nation to fulfill his will, at the end of the at the end of the day, they're not his chosen people. At the end of the day, they are still going to be judged. Why? Because you have the majority of Edomites that live in that country, And so Ezekiel 38 and verse 7, it reads, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." That's right, because what we're seeing around the world is Russia gathering all these different nations with him. All right, with Africa, okay, and all the smaller countries inside of that. All right, you also have China, all right, that is starting to agree with Russia. Okay, so this has all been prophesied. All right, and now we're starting to see it get faster and faster. And so it says in verse 8, "After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them." That's right, because ultimately the land that is brought back from the sword is talking about America, aka Babylon the Great. All right, and it says, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them, talking about the nation of Israel, because even though 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off and die, there is a certain elect remnant that is going to be saved, which is the 144,000. All right, and the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, or North American Indians that fervently believe on the names of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, and of course the speckled bird within that. And so it says, verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. And why is that? Because he's gathering all these nations with him. And so it says, verse 10, which is the point, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And we're starting to see that. All right, Putin is getting real fed up with America, Babylon, not only enabling the war of Ukraine, giving them weapons and stuff, all right, but also making threats that if Russia oversteps their bounds, that the whole NATO will attack them. Well, now Russia, excuse me, now Russia is telling them, hey, our weaponry is ready, all right. And so it says, verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. That's right. Ultimately, they're dwelling without care, because America, when you look at the land of America, it has pretty much like some natural walls, man. All these mountains that are round about it. All right. You have the ocean on the outskirts of it. OK. And so pretty much invading America would be very difficult. But if the Heavenly Father has ordained that to be, we understand that it's going to happen. And ultimately, we know that those thermonuclear missiles, all right, the million, all right, are going to destroy this place. All right. And so it says, verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. That's right. So that's what Russia is going to do. Once again, God can make God. And so it says, continuing it back in this article, the Russian dictator told a conference in Sochi, from the moment the launch of missiles is detected, no matter where it comes from any point of the world, ocean, or from any territory, such a number, so many hundreds of our missiles appear in the air in a retaliatory strike that there is no chance of survival. There will be no single enemy left, and in several directions at once, because ultimately the Lord is going to put that evil thought in Russia President Vladimir Putin's mind. Okay, and we know that the Most High Spirit is actually going to be within those missiles. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before Yahweh and before the glory of his power. That's right, because he's going to allow those missiles to touch down upon the land of America and everywhere else where he sends them. And so it says, verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That's right. So they will not miss, because the Heavenly Father's Spirit will actually be guiding them, all right, to the destination where they need to go. All right. And so another quick point I wanted to point out was that whenever you get into the name Vladimir Putin, that first name Vladimir means to rule, great, famous, peace, world. All right. And whenever you get into that word Putin, or that name Putin, Putin means someone belonging to the way road, someone who goes along the way. So, Putin is the one, more than likely is the one that's going to give the okay to go ahead and send those missiles, man. And so it says back in this article, Putin urged the U.S. to understand that any threats against Russia are absolutely unacceptable for any potential aggressor. He also mentioned the possibility of Russia withdrawing from the nuclear test ban treaty, which could lead to the country conducting major weapon tests, possibly in the Arctic. All right, and also it says Putin has survived 6 assassination attempts since February 2022. So, hey, we know that the Heavenly Father is reserving this man to accomplish his will. All right, which his will is to completely, utterly annihilate the land of America, all right, and raise up his people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, or North American Indians. Because even though 144,000 of the nation of Israel and that 1/3 who fervently believe on the names, even though they're the ones that are going to be raised up and be saved from that destruction, ultimately all of Israel is going to return through the elect seed. And so it says, according to Daily Mail, Russia may have conducted a test in the Arctic involving a Burevestnik missile, which has an onboard nuclear reactor and can fly for days or weeks at a time. Western spy planes have been monitoring the area, raising concerns about Russia's nuclear capabilities. All right, and so this is beautiful because we know that this is the end. So the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we're seeing that, man. Earthquakes, uproars of the people, man. All right, I was just watching some videos yesterday about this peach farmer over there in Georgia, and he was saying that because of the weather, all right, they haven't been able to fully sell their peaches the way that they should, and then there was this other farmer. He was a dairy farmer who was giving milk, and he said that they dumped 30,000 liters of milk because he didn't say exactly who, but hey, through the spirit we know it's Esau, Edom, and their government that is telling these people to dump all that milk, to not take care of the food properly, all right, spraying pesticides and all that, because ultimately he wants to usher in his NWO, which is his new world order, all right, and he wants to control the world. He believes that he is the Most High and that he will overcome, but we know that that's not possible. And so it says, verse 3, Salakia, therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. So ultimately, the Heavenly Father is making it very plain, not only because his prophets are out there on the highways and hedges posting his lessons, all right, and preaching and spreading the gospel, but also because you see that even, a thing I like to say, man, is take if you don't believe in the Bible or whatever, take the Bible out of account, and all these things are still happening in the world. And the only book that is prophesied with these things happening is the Bible, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh had given this royal law and the signs of the times to his chosen, the nation of Israel, to make known the things that are to come. All right. And so it says, verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Sir, there is a way to escape out of this judgment, and it's by believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and showing forth your faith through your works. All right, and so from here I want to get to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, and I'm going to jump down to verse see if I can get right to it. Okay, Khan. Verse 27, Jeremiah 51 and verse 27. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations. And how are we blowing that trumpet? By preaching on the highways and hedges, by posting these lessons, all right, and teaching our people and the rest of these heathen nations what the Bible means and what the signs are to look out for. All right, and so it says, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Shanaz appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. That's right, and that captain is talking about the Medes. All right, so it says, verse 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. And what do we just read? Back in this article, reading up, he says, the Russian president says, from the moment the launch of missiles is detected, no matter where it comes from any point of the world, ocean, or from any territory, such a number, so many hundreds of our missiles appear in the air in a retaliatory strike that there is no chance of survival. That's right, because ultimately the Heavenly Father had laid Esau's heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Okay, and so jumping back down, it says Western sources have suggested that the 13 known tests of the Burevestnik missile have all failed, with one test leading to the deaths of 7 people. Putin, however, has held these individuals as national heroes without providing further details. All right, it says Putin has argued that the war is not territorial, but part of a broader struggle within the United States, accusing Washington of having colonial thinking and considering itself the only arbiter of truth. All right, so hey, we're seeing that these people are waking up. All right, they're starting to speak out against America. I'll go ahead and post this link in the description for you brothers and sisters who want to read it on your own. All right, but pretty much this is all according to prophecy. And we know that ultimately the Heavenly Father is going to destroy this place, man. So now it is high time they will be awake. Let's go ahead and grab that. Where's it at? The book of Romans, chapter 13, and jumping down to verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. That's right, you want to take onto you the armor of the light, being Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's spirit, man, because ultimately that's the only thing that's going to save us, man. All right, is our belief and showing our belief through our works. All right, and our works doesn't just consist of posting lessons, all right, and going out to the highways and hedges, but it consists of how you walk in your everyday life. And that goes to show if you truly believe or if you don't. And so it says, verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. That's right. You want to put all those things behind you, man, because with the coming destruction, there's no point to have those things upon you. There's no point of acting that way. And we see that the people who are continuing to be reprobates, all right, to continue to scoff at the Heavenly Father's word, all right, to continue to fulfill their lusts, hey, those people are going to be destroyed. All right, and that's prophesied. So it says, verse 14, but put ye on the Lord Yahushai HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. That's right, because if you allow your lust and you allow the things of this world to overtake you, and you forget about the Heavenly Father's law, you forget about the prophecy, and you choose to just rest here, well, then ultimately, hey, well, this world was made for you. All right, so you just enjoy that. And whenever the Lord Yahushua returns with his mighty host and in great glory, know that you chose to have that judgment brought upon you. All right, and so from here I want to go ahead and end it off on see if I can find it. So like, yeah, I had this precept in mind that I wanted to end it off on. I'll go ahead and end it off on this, man. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Because if you allow the Edomites and all the wicked to continue to spread their seed, well, then ultimately we see that the world gets into chaos. You know, especially especially when they're in rulership. And so it says, verse 2, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as the calves of the stall. So the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings is talking about Yahweh Shai. And it says, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. In the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of hosts, remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all of Israel with the statutes and judgment. All right, so ultimately, the Heavenly Father is going to send judgment upon this place and save those who fervently believe and trust in his name, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and who remember the law of Moses and trust in the law and walk and do their best to walk accordingly. And so, with that being said, I pray that this lesson was edifying and uplifting of the spirit. Know that we are at the end and this place is about to be destroyed. Continue to grow in faith. Continue to grow in your belief in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Continue to grow in works. All right, continue to do your best to be as good as possible. That way you may overcome the evil that is about to happen. And so, once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the sincere apostles and elders of a great millstone, and peace and salutations to you brothers out there and you sisters who fervently believe on the names of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Keep it pushing. All right, until the next time I say, Shalom.